Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and welcome back to a final premiere draft of Dominaria United for this time around. We've got the flashback drafts swapping out to Amonkhet Remastered and Remix Artifacts tomorrow, so some cool stuff on the horizon, but it does mean the end of this very sweet format as of now. So let's hope we can end off the format with a bang, try our best to get as close as possible to a trophy run here, but we'll see how it all works out. We're certainly starting things off very well with Vidalian Mindsinger. This is a 3-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of a creature with power less than it when it enters, and you keep it as long as you keep the Mindsinger on board. That's okay already, honestly, if it just steals like a 1/1 soldier as your 3-mana 2/2, but it becomes really absurd when you kick it. Play this as a 5-mana 4/4 and steal their best 3 power less creature. That's a lot of options there. And sometimes if you're like a domain deck getting to play all of these colors and kick it twice, you can do some really, really gross things with it. So Vidalian Mindseeker, just an excellent 2-for-1 rare and a great way to start the draft off. For pick number 2, we could take a Miria's Outrider here and just immediately go deep on domain, trying to play a lot of colors and a lot of dual lands, getting to the double kicker on the Mindsinger. That is a great spot for that card to be. Again, this card plays perfectly fine in a blue-red deck as well. Just a 2-for-1's already good. But if you're going to be playing the blue-green half of it, you're probably playing all 5 colors, because I don't think there's many blue-green without a bunch of domain nonsense decks going around in this format. So, yeah, we're like 50-50 between blue-red spells and blue-green domain, playing like all the colors. So I think I'm going to take the Outrider here, because technically this can also go into blue-red spells. It's just not going to be that good there. Feels like either way our deck can use Amiria's Outrider. Wow, pick 3 Temporal Firestorm? Don't mind if I do. This is going to be really good in either deck. Blue-red spells or blue-red domain, 5-color domain. Just a board wipe to stop the more aggressive decks from killing you in domain, and in blue-red spells, your creature count tends to be pretty dang low, and you just kind of control whatever your opponent's doing. So when you have this in your hand, you can just let them dump their hand on board, and then you save like your one good creature and kill everything else. The card is excellent, so happy to have Firestorm here. It's in the pack with a Micromancer as well, another excellent blue card, particularly good in domain because you have so many different options for your 1-mana instants and sorceries. You can find like removal spells with this thing even, like Bone Splinters and stuff, so there's some great cards in the pack, but we're going to take the rare with the Temporal Firestorm. And do I just keep taking rares here? Blue-red rares the deck, a Silver Scrutiny? This is a lot of mana, but you can do it at instant speed when you have enough, and it does kind of win the game. If you cast this for 6 or more, like, it's really hard for your opponent to come back when you're 4 cards ahead. So, yeah, it's kind of a finisher, not one that impacts the board at all, but domain decks are about just stabilizing and being able to cast something big like that that doesn't immediately impact the board. So take the Silver Scrutiny. Now we have a Lightning Strike and a Tolarian Terror. Jeez, let's go. We certainly need some cheap removal pretty badly to stay alive to get to our excellent late game plays like Mindsinger, Firestorm, and Scrutiny. So I think I'd take Lightning Strike really highly here. Tolarian Terror is excellent in blue-based like 2-color decks, like blue-red and blue-black and blue-white and all that. If we end up more domainy, we might end up with a little bit of a lower instant sorcery count, though, where this doesn't end up being that insane. Lightning Strike's going to be insane no matter what. Pick 6, Flowstone Infusion for more cheap removal. Man, it's just all blue-red cards. Like, I want to be a slow domainy blue-red deck. Like, this is not going to be just blue-red spells here, but I have not seen a big reason to take anything other than blue and red cards so far anyway. Yeah, I'll take Infusion. I don't love Najal just because he doesn't actually do anything until you get an attack off with him and dump extra mana in. So there's like a whole turn cycle for your opponent to deal with Najal, and it's just a 5-mana 1-for-1, which isn't great, but Najal can pop off later. I think the Infusion is just a more consistent card. Pick 7. All right, Shadow Prophecy and Tangled Islet are reasonable here. Shore Up's great when you're running a lot of creatures in your blue-red tempo decks. A little more awkward in domain. I'm just going to make sure I've got some green to kick the Mindsinger that way. And the Islet's obviously going to play really, really well if we go Domain. Yeah, Islet or Shadow Prophecy for sure. Shadow Prophecy being a ridiculous draw spell in the full Domain deck because you get to dig 5 cards deep for the best stuff. Okay, Aquifer and Tributary are great here. I think I take Tributary because we've got some pretty prohibitive mana costs in our main colors. We have double blue, we have double red, and we have another double blue. But if you were like a green deck at the core and your mana costs were all like a single pip of their respective colors, sometimes you actually want to just prioritize the off-color duels just so that like you can swap out a basic island for an island swamp just to hit higher domain counts more often. But I think we are actually a little more concerned with hitting the right colors right now than hitting higher domain counts. Okay, pick 9 looks pretty bad. I guess we could take a Deathbloom Gardener if mana goes really poorly for us and we play green as a core color. But I'm not very excited about Haunting Figment ever. Yeah, not a very exciting pack in general. Pick 10. Illusionist can randomly fix us. Pretty inefficient. It just makes one of your lands tap for the color you need. It doesn't like actually Birds of Paradise you or anything, but it'd be pretty ridiculous if it did. Then it would just be a strictly better Birds of Paradise. Yeah, I mean, I could also take the Scout the Wilderness, but currently green kind of looks like a splash. Pick 11. Nothing much. Academy Wall or Volsh Tide Turner are fine filler. Turn some Tides. Pick 12. This is all poop that we would prefer not to play. And that'll probably remain for the rest of pack number 1. Alright, pack 2, what do we have? We have Balmor. We opened Balmor. So much for Domain, then? Right? That feels like a so much for Domain kind of moment. I don't have any good aggressive blue-red tempo creatures right now, but Balmor can immediately steer us in that direction and have us take those really highly. The alternatives are like Sunbathing Rootwalla, Slimefoot Survey. Rootwalla is certainly the best for Domain. I think we just take Balmor. Balmor is just so ridiculous in the dedicated blue-red deck, and we've seen lots of decent blue and red just flying around the draft pod. Should be in a good spot for it, and we can just try to draft some more Tangled Islets pretty highly to be able to double kick this on occasion. Really prefer not to play Illusionist and Thrill of Possibility, I think. I guess if I get a bunch of the 2-mana counter spells like Essence Scatter and Negate and Shore Up and stuff, Thrill of Possibility goes up in power. Ooh, let's go. Defiler of Instinct? It's not actually insanely exciting as a rare, but these commons are all pretty bad, except Timely Interference. That's a great one. Cycle away real easily. But yeah, not like a super, super insane rare or anything, but pretty good. Just the 4-mana 4/4 first strike. The pings don't end up being that relevant that often. So it's one of the weaker Defilers, but that's just because the other Defilers are like really strong. Okay, this is actually a hard pick. We have Lightning Strike, we have Urtai's Scorn, and we have Impulse. And all of those are fantastic. I am a mono red burn player at heart, so I think I'm just one of Lightning Strike's biggest fans, and that probably hinders my my ability to accurately assess what I should be picking sometimes. But that's too bad. I'm gonna pick Lightning Strike. Pick number 4, boom, I'll take the Impulse this time. Be very happy with it. Yep, simple pack is simple. The only other option there that looked particularly good was another blue-red duel. That would have been fine. Here's a Timely Interference, great card. Just cycle it away to cast an instant or sorcery real cheap for Balmor, or to fill your graveyard for Tolarian Terrors if you can find those. And every now and then you force a really bad block, which is nice. But you're always happy to just spend 1 mana, cast an instant sorcery, draw a card, and be done with it. Second Thrill of Possibility feels real unlikely, especially considering that we have an Impulse already. So I am going to speculate on a Wrath here, because Wrath is very good in this kind of deck. If you have two creatures on your board, you're going to start drawing a card every time you cast an instant or sorcery, which is busted. The problem is Wrath is a white spell, so it's unlikely that we find good enough mana to run the Wrath, but maybe. It's worth a speculation over taking a Thrill of Possibility, because that card's just not that good. Need some momentum here, I guess. Not exciting. Pick 9, filler creature. Pick 10, another timely interference. I actually do like that. We have 18 non-land cards right now. And I want to apologize if you can hear a lot of clicking. In today's video, my usual mouse that I use that's a little quieter is just not working right now for some reason. So I'm back to the default Dell clicky mouse. All right, Goblin Picker. All right, Goblin Picker. You are perfectly fine here. This looks really nice. Right, like we just have a bunch of really cheap spells, like cheap creatures and cheap interaction to make sure that we have plays during the early game. And then later we just cast a giant 4-for-1 or 5-for-1 like Silver Scrutiny or Firestorm and went off of that. This looks like a plan. I guess the one flaw here is that we have played blue-red like 3 times now, which might not be the most exciting to watch, but I certainly think this draft pod has led me in that direction. Pack 3, pick 1, Molten Tributary or Negate. Not super high on Negate here. We're just going to take the Tributary. Ooh, Fire's a victory, slam dunk. Insta-pick. 2-for-1 removal, kill a creature and draw a card. We take those. Take that over Talus Lookout, which is also pretty great. Okay, now there's a Tolarian Terror that looks like a massive pickup for this deck. I'm going to take that over Impulse and Lookout, Flowstone Infusion. That's a really good pack, but we got to get another boss monster in here. We don't have a lot of big endgame cards. Now we got a Talus Lookout. Pack 3 is where it's at. Ooh, baby. Another Impulse. Fantastic pack. We don't have any Essence Scatters in this deck, though, which is pretty sad. Nobody ever passed us a copy of that. I don't even know if we opened one. Maybe alongside like a Bomb Rare in the same pack or something. But certainly haven't seen any like pick 4 or later anywhere. This deck could really use a few copies of Essence Scatter, and it's too late in the draft to get that. Like, we might get one single copy when this is a deck that could, again, really use anywhere between 2 and 4, and we are just not going to have 2 to 4. I guess I can run in a gate and pretend that it's a scatter, but it does not do a good approximation, because creature spells are by far the most common type of spell. So this is going to counter things much less often, but I have no shore-ups either, so this also does a decent job pretending to be a shore-up, countering any removal. Speak of the devil. Now we have a shore-up, I guess. And now we got an amplifier, sure. Okay, most of our instants and sorceries are literally like 2 mana or less, so I don't think the Tide Turners are necessary at all. We've got 3 lands in here, so we're on 26 non-lands right now. We certainly want to cut a couple more non-land cards. Steel Crusher doesn't do anything specific to this deck. We just drop that. And like one more cut, probably an Impede Momentum, just slowing down our opponent's best threat. Not great, when I've got plenty of ways to actually kill it. Or Thrill of Possibility is an option. So we have 25 non-land cards. We probably want to play 16 lands with this deck. We just got one of these. I have Triple Impulse. Triple Impulse, 1 Thrill. Hopefully still solid enough. Do I have anything with a white ability? I do. Temporal Firestorm. Sure, I'll run a Sacred Peace. Okay, I'll cut a Thrill. I'll actually cut a Thrill and an Impede to play one Fire NATO and still be on 16 lands here. This looks good. Think we have fully got a deck here. It's already pre-built and everything. We're just going to run even number of islands and mountains. And then hop right into the gameplay to wrap up this format. We got an absolute classic to start off the gameplay today. This is the 4 Mountain Double Blue spell hand. Time to take a mulligan. Start this game out with a 6-card hand, but it is a bombastic hand. We got a Mindsinger and a Temporal Firestorm. Can certainly take over the long game if we can make it that long. Which basically means if we can draw lands. But there we go, we hit an island already. Already got a Balmor kind of forcing removal out of our opponent here. There's no way I'm playing a Mindsinger turn 3, so I think I actually just lead Balmor and then play the tap land, holding up one of these. Pretty suspicious, I think. The way our hand is structured here, I think we just block. Okay, nice. It was a bluff. They were like, there's no way you want to block with Balmor here. Secretly I do, because I've got a whole board wipe coming up. I can kill both of them if they have literally no trick, but I can kill both of them with a board wipe later anyway, so. This thing needs 4 counters on it to survive a Firestorm. I don't think I strike it. I'm going to let it stay. Okay, there's the Impulse. Impulse into any land and still have Lightning Strike up here. I guess it has to be an untapped land, but we're really looking for the 5th mana, because we certainly take over the game if we can just wipe the board and then follow up with like a Mindsinger. It's going to be disgusting. Clear everything out. And then steal their next creature they play to try to reestablish a board. Hurler Cyclops, that dies to Firestorm. But I do need to top deck land. Let's go. 3 cards in hand. Good enough. I think these 4 cards can beat 3 random cards on average. So we'll just have to see how good their 3 cards are. Ooh, they do get 4 scries. So it's 3 cards and whatever they scry into. I get to basically pick their next draw. So 4 cards versus 4 cards. But one of ours is a Mindsinger, which should be insane here. No! 2 for 1s. Stop! Necromass. That's too big for Mindsinger, but if I draw 1 more land, I can actually still steal it, because it'll be a 6/6, right? Yeah. 3, 4, 6. Yeah, so we wait on the Mindsinger then. We're trying to get to 6 mana for that. So I guess since we're waiting, I'll just kick the Necromass and force a recast here. Slow down the damage. I don't really want to Lightning Strike the 2/2. Alright, Necromass is back. They've got 2 cards in hand. Balduvian Atrocity, kicked to reanimate a Rager, draw another card. All the 2 for 1 little Ragers in the world. That is probably Black's best common. A 2 for 1 value there. Gross. Yeah, they've got a lot of cards off the Rage. Infusion, you are not land 7, and that is a problem. At least you're cheap enough to cast and trigger the Amplifier in the same turn. That could be pretty big. So now I can have Outrider and Infusion trade into the Necromass. The Amplifier trade into the Rager. No! Stop with all the cards. I mean, I guess the 3 Ragers has helped. The draw 3. Make sure they've got the action here. I cannot afford to take this damage at this point. So Mindsinger is now going to steal a considerably weaker card, sadly. They're down to 1 card in hand. Maybe out of action and Mindsinger stabilizes us? I'm going to double kick it so it's harder to kill, even though I'm only stealing a small creature anyway. They're down to 13, so if they don't have the removal in hand for the Mindsinger, we do actually kill them pretty quick here. Let's go. It looks like they are out of action. We might barely get there. There's a Soul Tender. That's another 2 for 1. It's going to trade off on blocks and then also pick up their best creature from grave. But we only have to hit them for 2 damage and then I can finish them with Lightning Strike. If they don't have instant speed life gain, this attack is lethal. So we go for it. Lethal? No instant speed life gain. It is indeed lethal. And that was a really close game, considering the fact that we played a 2 for 1 bomb rare of Vidalian Mindslinger, or Mindsinger, and like a 3 or a 4 for 1 bomb rare like Firestorm. So that was really impressive from our opponent. Even if we got the win in the end off of a couple rares, they just had really, really good value with all the Phyrexian Ragers and reanimating the Ragers and stuff. Just playing a Pauper deck over there and almost crushing us in the end, even so. So really nice deck from our opponent, but good showing from our rares. Sometimes it's better to have just great rares than it is to have a great deck. We are 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, here we are for game 2. The game plan this time around is to live long enough to scrutiny for 4 or 5. Or I guess technically for 6 or 7 mana, saying that X equals 4 or 5. And that'll be our win condition here. Again, this deck's game plan is just like 4 or 5 for 1 our opponent off of a bomb rare. That's just how it is. Going to be difficult against Domain. Almost every single card that you play in the Domain decks is just an inherent 2 for 1. So they'll have plenty of value throughout the game regardless. I probably should have just played Goblin Picker here because I don't actually have a 3-drop. Rager again. Everybody's angry today. There's Thrill a possibility. Probably will have to cast that soonish. Well, trade Timely Interference into the Rager if we don't, or if they don't have a combat trick. If they do, I still draw a card off of Timely Interference, so I'm really just trading the Picker into a combat trick, which is fine. Since I have the Thrill of Possibility in hand anyway. Cast a spell during your main phase, gets +1/+1. Yeah, Interference doesn't do anything here, it's still gonna have 2 power. Gross. Man. I would like to top deck land 4 so I can do this at instant speed still, so I think I'm still going to Interference just to stop 1 damage. Let's draw a card here. Try to hit the land by the time we can play it. Alright, that is a Balmor and not a land, but it dug me 1 card closer to the land. Now I get to drop a Balmor and Thrill possibility. Looks solid. What are we discarding off this Thrill? I'm 1 mana away from Amplifier or Outrider, or Fire NATO, but I imagine it's gotta be one of these 3, so we're still trying to win off the Scrutiny endgame. Fire NATO might be the worst, because some of their big endgame threats are going to be too big for a Fire NATO anyway. And I don't want to Amplifier either of these, but playing the Outrider to block the Rager is going to be good. And then Amplifier, even if they play like a 10-10 Morrow or something, can bounce it and slow it down. Yeah, I think I'm discarding Fire NATO. I mean, this will play bad if they play like a Techyova or something. That's a small card that also needs to get killed. but Amplifier's going to be better against really big creatures like the 7/7 Trample or the 10/10 Territorial Morrow or anything like that. Alright, there's the very good Vine Shaper Prodigy 2-for-1. I do get to hold Negate up for like the rest of the game, which is nice. Just playing as slow and lazy as possible with the Silver Scrutiny. I cannot negate an Outrider. I can Amplifier it, but I get shot for 4 more if I do that. Timely Interference. Man, Amplifier does look really bad here. Maybe I should have just kept the Fire Nado instead of being worried about their finishers. Just all 2-for-1 enters effects that we don't want to bounce. I'm on draw 5 now off Silver Scrutiny. Okay, I've got the negate for their trick here. Ooh, Impulse, let's go. Oh! This is why we needed Essence Scatters. Why were there 0 Essence Scatters in our draft pod? That looks like a Defiler. Draw. Lightning Strike. Alright, well, Defiler already holds their buddy off. Man, we died at 2 more Miria's Outriders, so if they have a full play set here, we're just going to die because we don't have Essence Scatters in the deck. We did have one opportunity to draft Urtai's Scorn, but again, unless I didn't notice an Essence Scatter because we drafted a Bomb Rare instead at some point, I think that was the only opportunity where we could reasonably have drafted a Counterspell. I definitely don't think we could have drafted it over any of the rares we took. My god. It's all 2-for-1s. Enter, draw a card, enter, draw a card, enter, draw a card, enter, draw a card, enter, shoot for 4, enter, draw a card. This format is wild. So much value. Their board's getting wide enough. I kind of need to kill something here. I don't mind killing the Sprouting Goblins so they can't just draw a bunch of cards out of their mana flood. I guess if I Lightning Strike something, then if they do have a Tachiova, we're doomed. Tachiova's about the only like 3 toughness or less card I can think of domain decks have frequently that is like a must kill. What are the odds? Yeah, the odds of them even seeing a Tachiova are probably like 50-50 at best. I'm just going to kill a Goblin. I mean, the board stays wide enough that if I'm not clearing out some stuff, they can just click the all attack button pretty dang soon. Okay, well, there's the Morrow to amplify. They've got 1 and a blue up. If they have negate for the Scrutiny, this is going to be the saddest moment of my life. Oh, it only flashes at 3. I thought it flashed for 3 or more. Oh, I'm so dumb. All right, we're going to have to tap out for that during our turn then? Shoot. I read the exact opposite of the card. Hello, top deck. Would I rather they scatter the Amplifier or the Terror? God, I'm gonna have to chump block Morrow with a 4/4 if they scatter the Amplifier, so I guess it's better if they scatter a Terror? Okay, they don't have a scatter anyway. And then we amplify, holding up negates. Oh, right, I had a negate if they had a scatter. And then next turn... Oh, I gotta make sure I do this right. 1 damage to face. Then is the targeted creature gets bounced. Okay, next turn we tap out for scrutiny. Hope this is enough creatures for now. Okay. 5, 6, 7. I guess I have a risk of milling out as well. I can do this for 5 and still have a negate up also, which is kind of nice. Sure, hopefully 5's enough. Alright, I mean, those are all spells, so probably about as good as it could have been for us. We'll have to chump this Morrow. They do have Tachiyova. Oh, Lord have mercy. 12 cards left. What am I digging for? I got a Fires of Victory, another Lightning Strike, a Mind Singer. Hold on. Wait a minute. Vidalian Mind Singer might get us there. Steel Tachiyova. Morrow's still an issue, and our board wipe doesn't even kill the Morrow. I don't think our deck has anything that can kill a 10/10. Because we're blue-red, we can bounce it or damage it, and there's like nothing in this format that's going to deal 10 damage. I guess I can try to... If I draw into Fires of Victory, I can put a first striking Defiler of Instinct in front of the Morrow, and then Fires of Victory it for like 6. That'll stack into 10 damage total. Okay, so we've got a low enough number of cards in our deck that there's 33% chance there's a 1 in 3 that we get to Impulse into the Mind Singer and take their Tachiyova, which will be pretty gross. I guess if I had 1 more mana here to be able to Infusion and hold up Negate, it'd be beautiful. But I was going to say, I guess I'll... 1 spell. I can have Amplifier, Outrider, and Fusion kill it. Can also triple block with Terror, Defiler, and Outrider. They only kill 2 of those, but killing 2 of those is still pretty bad for me. Any trick here is kind of a blowout. Either way, I'm going to try the Infusion plan. Oh, they've got an instant of some kind up here. That can't be good. Is it a trample trick? I don't know what else would have them thinking this long on it. Because they already, like, you're just, okay, I'll just kill both of those. I'm fine. If it's any other combat trick. If it's a trample trick, they might be calculating that they have lethal here. If it's a trample trick, we're just dead doing Infusion because we just buff it up for the trample too. Shoot. I mean, 3 cards in hand, tons of mana up. I guess I just get 2 for 1 then at that point. It feels too risky to not hold the gate up at that point. They think that long. Should have just trumped with Amplifier. These are not the cards I'm looking for. I need Mind Singer. But I'll try Firestorm. Okay, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, exactly enough to wipe the entire board if they have nothing. I can Firestorm plus Fires of Victory. But if they have any combat trick to save Morrow, we die. If they don't, we win the game, though. Our creatures are all going to be dead, but then we've got a bunch of cards in hand to their 3. I mean, we have to go for it. Yeah, if it resolves, it resolves. If it doesn't, we die. And we get to see what combat trick they were going to blow us out with last turn, too. I can't do the kick and phase thing here, because if our cards phase out, they don't come back until our next turn. So we wouldn't have a chumper for Morrow. So I need to spend the 5 to Fires the Morrow and the 5 to Firestorm. Alright, either way, if they have a negate, we lose, whether they negate a Fires or a Firestorm. So I'm going to start with Fires of Victory to do a little bit more damage to Territorial Morrow to make the number of cards they could have to save it slightly smaller. But the most likely cards they could have here would save it no matter what, like the Gaia's Might for +5/+5. So I don't even think the sequencing really matters, but we'll maximize damage output and do 12 to the Morrow instead of 10. So draw a card, deal 7. Oh, and then there's the Mind Singer. If it resolves, we win. If it doesn't, we die. Let's go. Oh my god, we might win. Because Mind Singer makes that even more likely. Okay, Bortuk Tachova is pretty phenomenal here. Sprouting Goblin. Huh? Are they playing around the Mind Singer? I'm so confused right now. Ooh, I can't double kick this. I can't take a Bone Rattle. Whoops. Shoot. Actually, really bad. That was going to be my plan there. Ooh, it's actually letting me order with Impulse now. Sick. I don't know why it let me start doing that. Didn't before. Okay, so this is the deck order. Oh, Lightning Strike Goblin Picker is what we've got left. Cool. I'm sure that's definitely enough to win the game, right? They got Urborg Repossession or something? Oh wait, man, I should have shore upped so that I could negate a Urborg Repossession if they had that. I negated instead of short up so I could kill the Bone Rattle here because it's going to be a while before I hit the green source and I can't just take 4 a turn. Well, I mean, it played out. Oh, shoot. I have to choose between these two. We have to win off of 1 Mind Singer and a Lightning Strike. If I take the green source. But I think I have to be able to steal a bigger card, right? Oh my god. Because I can't have them just play like another 4/4 and I can't do anything about it. I'm just going to mill out. They don't have to play anything and I'll mill out. But if they play a 4/4, I'll win. A 6/6 Mind Singer kills them in 3 attacks, so there's that too. Oh boy. I'm surprised we made it this far, but this endgame is not ideal. Mind Singer, Lightning Strike, and a Dream. That is every spell. I have 3 turns to kill them, so I have to play Mind Singer with no creatures on their board, or else I'm not dealing enough damage to kill them before I die. Okay, that's exactly small enough if they have no other spells here to still get that triple attack in. If they miss on every draw. Attack number 1. Now they need to play a land and pass. If they do anything else, we lose. Okay, we lose. It's all lands in the deck. Alright. We got domained. Those decks have just an insane amount of grind to them. A lot of little misplays there because I didn't know the rares super well. The big one was not knowing that we had to sorcery speed our big X mana draw. Yeah, all the outrider damage put us in bad spots where we had to expend a lot of resources to not die early and fall behind in cards, and the domain decks are just so good at being ahead in cards. Like, you don't even have to really think to be infinitely ahead. You're just like 2 for 1, 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 2 for 1. Yeah. All right. A loss in the end, but a very long, very interesting game of Magic at least. We are 1-1 heading into game 3. All right, here we are for game 3. We got another Firestorm hand. It's got the Defiler too. Red deck from our opponent. I actually really like seeing the 1 toughness creature from our opponent. Defiler might actually kill that for free. Boros aggro. That's the game plan. Alright, I need to hit all my land drops, so I'm going to just impulse right now for 1 extra point of damage. If they want to lightning strike Belmore, they got it. Oh. That's miserable. Keep the 2-lander and no lands in the top 5 is rough. I guess I have to grab another impulse. Let's see if there's any lands in the top 9, shall we? I guess top 10, because that'll be 2 draw steps and 2 impulses. That's 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 4. Are there any lands in our top 10? Well, on the plus side, if we did not have an impulse, we would have just lost the game there. Hitting 4 non-lands in a row on a 2-lander. Alright, we did find a land. Okay, at this point I actually think I Balmor blocked the Branch Rider. Soaks up 3 of their mana to kill Balmor with that and just slows them down quite a bit. And Balmor's going to die to a Firestorm later anyway. How did we order the bottom cards? It's probably the wrong order. We probably wanted Timely on the bottom. It's not super likely to matter, but it did last game a little bit. Captain's Call. Bunch of 1/1s. Well, pretty good for our Firestorm to eat up. I got double red, I got double blue. This will help kick the Firestorm and Domain the Outrider. I don't think we're gonna be able to wait long enough to kick the Firestorm, but maybe. Probably not. At the very least, this is gonna Domain Armiria's Outrider a little better. And we're not playing a 4-drop this turn anyway, because it would just die to the Firestorm. Yeah, I guess since we're not casting any spells that turn, we might as well take the tap land. Balmor is going to die to our board wipe anyway here, but I'm blocking the 1/1 instead of the Branch Rider because I would rather have them cast another creature post-combat than spend 3 mana to buff the Branch Rider. And this works fine too. Getting them to expend a removal spell so they don't have it post-board wipe is nice. We're also tapped out into the Firestorm. We've drawn into the Mindsinger. This looks lovely. Yeah, I think our matchup against aggressive decks is pretty good. Our matchup against Domain's pretty bad. Usually Blue-Red has a pretty good matchup against Domain, but that's because Essence Scatter is so important to that matchup, with basically every creature in the Domain decks being a 2-for-1. And as we said before, as we saw before, we have like... we just had no opportunities to pick up the Essence Scatters, sadly. Kind of want to just strike the Knight of Dawn's Light. I could double Goblin Picker, but they can just spend the 2 and make that a 3/3 if I respond. If I try to do that. I don't want to Mindsinger before they've spent a couple more cards from their hand. I'd like this to be like the last play, so it's the least likely for them to have removal for Mindsinger. Because it's like by far the most impactful if it sticks around. Because we get to just keep their best card. Okay, so they have to tap out to its own ability to trade here. If they want to try to win the combat, it's going to force them to use a combat trick here that we can respond to with Lightning Strikes. This can go really well for us no matter what they do. Unless it's like a 1-mana trick. Yeah, this is incredible for us. Pretty brutal for our opponent. Speaking of brutal for our opponent, these draws are fantastic. Doing some digging with a thrill of possibility. I really like their lands. I don't know what these were from. But they're very fun. It might be better to let them gain 2 life to draw a card here. Guardian of New Benalia. Well, we turn Fires of Victory into draw a card, our opponent discards a card. Or I just steal that with Mindsinger, that's probably better. I guess if they have the instant speed removal for Mindsinger, that'll be bad. Here they destroy Evil Mindsinger, get the Guardian back, block a Picker, and give it indestructible. That'd be kind of a blowout. That'd be a reverse blowout for our Lightning Strike play earlier. We'll see. But this plays around the ability to give it indestructible. They have to specifically kill Mindsinger for this to be bad for us now. Because Indestructible doesn't get around us stealing that. Stall for time, stun our boys, sure. Well, exact lethal on board. Let's go for it. There's the concession from our opponent. 2-1 now. Hopping into game 4. Alright, game 4. I think we're on the play? Yep, on the play with a hand loaded with 2-for-1s. You'd love to see it. This is 2-for-1 the format. I was gonna say, and our absolute buffoon opponent starts with a 1-for-1, and then I cast a 1-for-1. It's just one threat. A Balmor. Good threat, though. I don't think I want a Mind Singer their 1-1. Probably save it for kicking it as a 4-4 later. Hold up a counterspell at this point. Sure. I'm gonna combat my Balmor. This might be like a lightning strike and a scatter in their hand or something. So we just cast a goblin picker, they just lightning strike the Balmor. Oh, we don't have the second blue for the Mind Singer, even if I wanted to do that. I have just noticed. So the picker's probably going to be ditching mountains, looking for islands pretty soon. It's their own Balmor. Traitor. Well, now if I had the blue source, I would steal their Balmor and sacrifice it to the legend rule. That would be sick. Actually, sick enough, I think, to ditch this mountain and hope for an island. Maybe better to ditch the amplifier, since I do need this land towards Firestorm and Fires of Victory at 5 mana. Yeah, I'll ditch the amplifier. Because it's just so bad for me if I ditch the mountain and then hit a non-land card. I guess they've got Pixie Illusionist and a mana up, so they could have Shore up here. Or they could have the +2/-2. Those would save Balmor. Uh-oh. No. The surprise blue mana from Illusionist? No, the Shore up? It's still kind of a 2-for-1, right? We make them discard a Shore up and we get a 2/2 on board. So we played a 3-mana 2/2, target opponent discards a card. Not a bad deal. Even if that's the case here. Except that their card drew them a card. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, shoot. Tragic outcome for the Mind Singer, but at least it didn't get scattered. Well, I mean, just try to resolve a Fires of Victory on Balmor, and that would let the whole team in. It's their other blockers, just a 1/1. Work our way up towards a 7-mana Firestorm. Whenever they get ahead, we just use that safety button, flip things right back around. Any 1-mana spell would eat our Balmor there, and I would not be particularly happy. They have to have exactly shore up to counter Fire's Victory here. Going for it. I'll be sad if it gets countered, but I would much rather be mana efficient and draw a card here if they don't have exactly shore up. God dang it. They always have it. Yeah, this is quickly turning into a Firestorm game because their creatures are making me mad. I guess we probably should have just attacked with everybody and went for the victory post-combat, because that lets us play around the shore up. Where we get some damage in. Since pre-combating the Fires of Victory gave them a 2/4 blocker, and then we don't hit at all. Yeah, we've lost a lot of damage here from just the perfect interaction twice in a row. Oh my god. Well, this ain't good. Come on, top deck impulse or something. No. I have to spend the lightning strike to kill this anyway. God dang it. Yeah, we're super behind on cards. We need them to just dump creatures on the board here for this Firestorm to end up in our favor. Put him out, opponent. Empty your hand onto the board. Just drop him down. Well, there's a creature. They get their dragon next turn. That's another creature. Yep, if they cast any spell, they eat our Balmor for free, so no blocks. Impulse. Librarian. If I don't hit a land, I think I'm going to wait one more turn for Firestorm. But if I do hit a land, then I get to keep my only creature and wipe those 3, and that's certainly worth it. Dang. Can Impulse and play Lookout here. Let's see what Impulse finds us. It's the land we need. I can't. Oh wait, yes I can. I just need A blue source, yeah. I was gonna say I don't have the white source, but I can have the blue source if I have 7 lands total. All right. I'm at 12 though. I might have to chump with Balmor anyway, where I don't even get to phase it out to Firestorm. Maybe that was a moment to cast Lookout. Oh god. Well, they only have 1 mana up. We shouldn't die here. But of course, I guess now I don't have to kick the Firestorm because they just bounced all my creatures anyway. That's kind of funny. Well, gave me enough mana to cast this and then Dominaria Terror, which is cute. They have a 1 blue mana instant. They have Timely Interference or Shore Up. Neither of which do anything about the Firestorm. There's the Terror. Alright. It is stunned for many turns, but it remains. Goblin Picker. I think if they have Scatter, we want them to hit Balmor over anything else. So I'm going to lead with Balmor. No Scatter. No spell at all. Ooh, Branch Rider? I think we take the 2-for-1 trade. We eat the Branch Rider, draw a card. I can't think of a blue or a red trick that would save. Oh, there's the first strike trick. But then we trade into the first strike trick and draw a card. This is still a 2-for-1 trade in our favor. Lookout makes them discard Bellow and draws a card. This is fine. Find Outrider. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 mana. I've got enough to play Outrider and Picker here. I'm going to do it pre-combat. Make sure these are resolving. Because I need to make sure I have at least 1 blocker up to not die. So I want to hold 2 blocks up. Honestly, because I'm only hitting for 1 damage attacking here, I'm actually going to hold all the blockers up to play it really safe. Because they could have like the +2, -2 in their hand here. They use it on Goblin Picker. They go to their turn and then they like Geyser the Outrider, put it back to hand, draw a card, and then we're just dead. I don't think that risk is worth a single point of damage when they're at 13. If Artillerian Terror was untapped, like I think it would be worth hitting them for like 5 to take that risk maybe, but not 1. Still got a giant reach blocker after Balmor dies. I think the ability to dig out a flood is going to be a little better than an extra point of damage here or there. Okay. Impulse, hello. What do you have to show me? Hmm. 4 life makes me real tempted to just kill the 1/1. But the scrutiny is objectively quite large here. Still got quite a bit of lands left in the deck. So I feel like there's probably a big land clump under these, and scrutiny's just going to hit that anyway. Oh, this could be super wrong. But I'm just going to kill the Branch Rider and try to kill them in 2 swings this way. Yeah, this just goes for 2 turn lethal. It's probably better than the draw 3. Which, I mean, we could do more than a draw 3 with scrutiny, but that would mean waiting a long time. Waiting until we untap in our turn after that. No shot they have Twinferno Lightning Strike. No, Twinferno Enthrall to the pit. Oh my god. Oh boy. That's a way to end a run of draft. Sure. That's magic. Oh, we're 2-2. These games are long, but the draft isn't over yet. I thought that was our 3rd loss because of how long these games have been. All right, well, that was still a ridiculously unfortunate way to lose the game there. I think we still played it out as best as we could. I think that was the right impulse choice. There were probably misplays earlier. I just mean like the last turn. I think that was impulsing the right card, killing the right thing. God, so they had one of those 2 cards in hand. They had the top deck into the lethal. Grody. Even if we played it more defensively, we were just dead. If I attacked with nothing, they would still steal all of our untapped creatures and kill us with them. There was no way to play around that Thrall to the Pit. Ooh. Got a Mind Singer for later. Right, blue, white, green. Defiler for next turn. I have 0 bait for the Essence Scatter, so they got it, they got it. There is nothing expendable to throw into that thing. Show me another one. Okay, don't actually show me another one. This is why I can never get Essence Scatters in blue-red. Cuddle Trolls and all the draft pods taking all the scatters. They've got like 8 in there. I need to draw 1 land, and then I can pay for the ward on Tolarian Terror. And they're going to have a playset of Shore Up too. Okay. I mean, kicked Mineslinger to steal that would have been a little better, so I was hoping that they did have the playset of Shore Up as well, so that this kills the Shore Up and then I steal it with Mineslinger, but if that resolves, it's fine too, as long as I hit land 7, which I didn't. This is fine. We're not that likely to hit land 7 statistically on like a 16 land deck. We don't often need it, but Ward 2 is a heck of a drug. Yeah, this is not good. I have to pay 3 mana to draw 1 card to get closer to the land. We know they don't have a Shore Up. They would have absolutely saved Tachiobas unless they top decked Shore Up. God dang. Unless they top deck Shore Up, land 7 will be enough to stop the terror, but we can't find land 7. And Amplifier doesn't hold off the terror either because I need land 7 to put that back in their hand too. Just gonna die to a single Tellurian Terror because of the ward. Alright, they've now had 2 draw steps to draw into the Shore Up. Hopefully they didn't. And here comes our basic, so I don't have to chump with a Balmor. I mean, I guess I can chump with an Amplifier, but either way, chumping is not fun. Lore Master. No, the tap land. Well, I guess at that point I just draw the extra card, right? Since I can't afford the Fire NATO anyway. Just cast a 4-mana Amplifier. Yeah, because I draw the extra card, and if I hit land 7, I bounce their Lore Master back to their hand so they don't draw another card. That'd be super gross. I found the other tap land in the deck. Alright, so unkicked Amplifier it is then, right? Lore Master with a ward creature is so rude. Because I can't draw the extra card next turn because I have to pay 7 to kill the terror. To not die. This is what I get for writing off the draft early. I sealed my fate when I thought that we went 2-3. We are fulfilling that prophecy right now. In the weirdest way possible. Alright, well, they've had pretty much infinite turns to find the Shore Up, so this is not gonna work, probably. No, it worked. Oh my god, it worked. Oh, Airborne Repossession, Tachiova, Terror. We need our board wipe or we are outie. Yeah, I mean, it's just another horrible matchup because we have no scatters because they took them all. That's not the board wipe. Is this one? Nope. So we lose. Wait. Yeah, 7 mana, and I hold up a negate this way. That chump blocked the planes. Oh wait, no, it doesn't have flying when they don't have Techova. So I have a 4/4 to block it. Stop. Maybe we're getting somewhere. Just got to use their own cards against them. Maybe. Probably not. I am at 2 life. I'm dead to 1 lightning strike, and they have full domain now. 7, 8, 9. I can cast Outrider Pass. I think I just always have to draw the card. Yeah, there's the Firestorm. I can double phase later. I could single phase right now. So I cast a Firestorm phasing out Mindsinger and Techova. I think we want to do that later. But at 2 life, I can't afford to not play another blocker here. So I'm just going to throw out this picker just to die to the board wipe. And then I'm going to Scrutiny for 3 during their turn. And then I'm going to untap and Firestorm, saving Mindsinger Techova, and try to take over with those cards. That feels like a plan. I guess I still am dead to 1 removal spell, because 1 removal spell kills Mindsinger, which gives them Techova back. Techova would be summoning sick, but the land would not. They get Techova back, play a land, haste kill me with the land. Okay, this looks like a chump, right? It's a mana worker. Here's some negate bait. If they have a negate, I think they would use it on this. And then Firestorm resolves. They let me get the 3-for-1, so if they do have a negate, they're being very patient with it. I have to spend 9 mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I cannot draw the extra card here. Oops. Shoot. That was so bad. Supposed to do that after the Firestorm, but I mean, it might not resolve anyway. If it doesn't resolve, I lose, period. Looks like it's not resolving. Oh. That's so gross. If I phase the cards out, they don't phase back in. Is it based on owner? No, it's controller's next turn. If it was based on owner, I could chump with their Techio, but yeah, now I just lose. Because I have no creatures to block terror because they're phased out. God dang it. Alright. I wrote the draft off too quick. I jinxed myself with the 2-3 here. I think this deck was decent. I think we were in the right colors. I mean, we got tons of great rares in this color pair. And they seemed open enough. The problem is that people be loving their Essence Scatters, and we didn't get to see any, and that is huge for this deck, as we saw with our worst matchups being against the domain decks, because the domain decks just have so many 2-for-1, sometimes even like 3-for-1 creatures. Being able to specifically counter them instead of killing them with removal after they've resolved is huge, and this deck just can't do that because we didn't see any scatters in our draft pod. I don't remember what I took over the Urtai's Scorn. I think it was a Lightning Strike over Urtai's Scorn. Deck would probably be better with 1 Scorn instead of double Strike. But yeah, I think the biggest hindrance was just the lack of counterspells in the draft pod. Outside of that, the deck is quite powerful, but that is a pretty big downside in a format with so many good enter abilities on creatures, as you could see in how it played out for us today, bringing us down to 2 and 3. Even though this deck is arguably more explosive in terms of bomb power than our 7-win blue-red deck was, it's just really missing those counter spells, those essence scatters in particular. So 2 and 3 to end off the format. Not exactly where I wanted it to be, but we still got a solid record overall. What did we do? We did a couple 7 wins, a 4, and then like a couple 2s. Slightly above average because of how top-heavy 7-win runs make your win rate. But yeah, not the greatest return trip of all time, especially because the last few drafts we did is where all the losses clumped up together, which is always a little sad. Where it likes to spread out the 7 wins instead of getting them both in the first 2 drafts. But yeah, we got some more really fun sets to go back to soon. Amonkhet Remastered drafts are back tomorrow, and that will be tomorrow's video, as well as Remix Artifact drafts. Those are kind of the sort of like an Artifact Masters set, where it's just a bunch of the strongest artifacts on Arena all clumped into one draft format, but it still works like a regular booster pack instead of a cube, where there is like 1 rare, 3 uncommons, a bunch of commons, stuff like that. So very cool formats coming up. Probably going to do mostly Amonkhet because I prefer like unique formats and everything to cubes and stuff like that, where it's a bunch of reprints from a bunch of different sets together in one. I prefer like the fully thematic draft formats, like one specific set like Amonkhet. But I'll do a little bit of both, so that is just around the corner, and that's going to be a lot of fun for us. So a little bit of a bummer for today, but tons of great, super fun stuff coming up. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.